Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Yeah, 12:11 here on a pretty sunny day in Geneva. Not the best sunny day, but not too bad. I hope you've all had a really nice weekend. It's funny how these days just tend to meld into one, isn't it? I don't know where time goes. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the weekend. It seems some of the quarantine or self-isolation situations are being lifted, which seems really good as well. So yeah, welcome on board. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. And I really do generally beautifully hope that you've had a nice weekend. It's about celebrating. My sister-in-law put a post on where the children had been walking by the local river, and she said people are putting things down there for little fairies and things, and her and the children had made little houses. And there were pictures on Facebook of the children playing in a little tiny paddling pool the other day. They couldn't even sit down comfortably in it because it was really tiny. But you know, isn't it funny? Another friend sent a picture of a teddy bear's picnic in the backyard. And the beautiful thing is that I think it's just amazing how we can make the most of the most simple things. Many of you have sent pictures of, planting on the allotments and just, I'm sorry if you can hear the sirens here, just appreciating the simple things in life. And I think we're all being made to really, really, really appreciate everything that we have. Appreciate friendships, appreciate being able to go out for a coffee, being able to go out for even a walk or a bike ride, or many of you folk that might be in sunny Lancashire, can't go up to the lakes. And I know my friend Esme put a post on this morning that was supposed to be flying to India today, which has obviously gone tits up. So I just think it's back to appreciation, isn't it? And back to the basics of life. I was very, very humbled on Friday, so appreciation has been a theme through all my weekend, really. When I first came here to Switzerland, my intention was maybe just to be here for 2 or 3 weeks and then just, see what comes. I knew I was meant to be here. I think I've said to you before, I was ill at Christmas. Well, I was ill in December, and I went up to Singaraja in the north of Bali to just be in the mountains, just be in the trees, and just be at peace. And it's desperately what I needed at the time. And I just sent a prayer up there. My visa was running out in Bali, and I just said, please just show me where I need to go. My guides, my spirit guides, had already said to me, you're not meant to be here anymore. You are meant to leave. Your work is done here. And I was thinking, I quite like Bali. I was going to stay longer. But evidently, I wasn't meant to. And within 5 days of sending that prayer up to the universe, within 36 hours, 5 friends from Switzerland, Geneva, France, and this area said, when are you coming back? Do you want to come and stay at my house? And, I got the sign. That's what I asked for. I got the sign. And then not so long after that, I met a lady who was from Lausanne, which is just further down the lake. And it was just incredible to be with her, to spend time with her. And she actually knows my friend Peter. So the mutual kind of jigsaw pieces were definitely there. So I'm definitely meant to be here in Geneva at this moment in time. And then, who could have foreseen this coronavirus? Because I didn't know anything about it at all. And I was talking to my family last weekend in England, and we were saying, about people only being able to see like grandparents and things through the window. One of my friends, his mum is in a nursing home, and he can't see her because obviously she's older, so they speak through the window. And I kind of thought, if I had have gone back to England, if I hadn't been lucky enough that I got an apartment here in Geneva, I would only be able to go out walking for an hour a day, which in itself would kill me. Many of you know I like going outdoors, I like walking, I like being in nature. And the thought, even if I could stay with some of my grandchildren, but if I couldn't see my other grandchildren, if I couldn't see my parents, if I couldn't see my brother-in-law my sister-in-law and my brother, and the rest of the family, never mind friends, because obviously I've been away now for, 15 months, that would be really, really, really hard. And I kind of thought, in a way, I'm glad that I'm here. The borders are closed now, so, I can't go anywhere. But isn't it strange how we get the synchronicities, synchrodestinies, coincidences, and we are always where we needed to be at the right time. So, many of you know I'm a healer, and I've done quite a lot of healing over the years in Switzerland and on the French side as well. And I love being here. I love being with the mountains, with the lake. I've got many friends here. I'm very, very blessed. Yes, of course, I still miss my family. But yeah, the thought of being in England at the moment and not being able to see them would be even worse in many ways than actually, being here. Even though I'm kind of on my own, I've never felt alone here. And the beauty of friendships and people keeping in touch with me. So on Friday, what happened was Peter's wife very, very kindly brought the rest of my stuff, which had been in France for, over a month, probably nearly 6 weeks, 7 weeks, losing track of time here, as I think we all are. But the original plan was to stay with Peter for a week and then move up to Caroline's for maybe a week or two, and then to book a flight back to England or just see where the journey took me. My friend had invited me to Canada, and I genuinely was just listening to the, coincidences and the breadcrumb trail, just looking out for that. And then I was offered an apartment here in the centre of Geneva, and I do love it. It's very beautiful, and I'm very, very, very lucky. But of course, all my stuff was in France, and then the borders started to close. And at first, it was a joke, really. I don't mean that in a disregarding way. It was like, what are you going to do if you get stuck in Geneva? And I thought, well, I could think of a million worse places I would rather be, and I'll deal with it, and it's not going to last forever. And of course, restrictions seem to be being lifted. I'm not sure what's going on, because I know many of you are from different parts of the world. But of course, this situation can't last forever. And I was messaging my sister-in-law, and she sent me a lovely message this morning to say, it's been actually a very, very special time, because I've appreciated the children more, I've done more with the children. Another friend had said, she's not losing the time on the school runs, so she's appreciating her children more. I know there's a lot of families who are struggling either with husband and wife or partners, or the kids are playing up. I get all that. But in the greater scheme of things, if we use this time wisely to appreciate one another, and I know there's so many friends, and I appreciated them before, but I'll appreciate them that much more after this. When I physically see my granddaughters, and my family in England, the hugs and the cuddles are going to get, it's going to be phenomenal. But on Friday, just to go back to the story of appreciation, Ocean very, very kindly brought me my suitcase, which was just half full of kind of summer clothes and different things, gifts I bought for friends and family back in England. And to be honest, the things in there I'd actually forgotten about. But of course, the weather here is changing, and it's getting a lot warmer. The snow and the ice is melting on the mountains. You can see the peaks on the Swiss Alps and the French Alps from here. And inevitably, you start thinking the weather change, we change. The coronavirus has changed, well, it's changed the whole world pretty much, hasn't it? But what have we learnt? In that time, what has really changed? How have we evolved? And I was sat in the park on Friday afternoon, and my friend Saturday afternoon, my friend Raphael was there. Raphael and I met a few weeks ago, quite bizarrely. And he does earth healing and he's fascinated by all things spiritual. So, you know, your vibe really does attract your tribe. I just find the whole thing fascinating. And of course, with Geneva being on shutdown, I can't believe I've actually seen him 4 times. Um, it's incredible. You know, you meet the right people at the right time. Um, and on, I think it was Friday, because again, I'm losing track of days. I think it was on Friday. I'd walked down into Geneva and I met a young guy in the park, which is right at the other end of town, about 10 days before. And we nearly crashed into each other. You know, I turned a corner and he was going the other way and bang, you know, and I was like, wow, I can't believe we're seeing each other again. And he said, do you mind if I walk with you? I said, no, because, you know, he was on his own, I was on my own. And of all the people, because there are people out here, you know, there's many different parks, there's many different places around the lake. And I just thought, how can it be that I bumped into these two people quite randomly, because I don't go out at the same time every day, but we always meet the right people at the right time. So just even the fact that I could have a conversation, even the fact that, you know, both of them will shake your hand, and, you know, we're not talking hugs, I'm afraid. Obviously with the coronavirus keeping 2 meters apart, but just for the fact that you've got conversation, it really, really meant a lot. Anyway, so Friday afternoon I came back. I was meeting up with Ocean. She brought me the rest of my stuff, and another friend of ours, Caroline, had sent a bag of clothes for me because obviously I still only got what I left England with nearly 18 months ago now. And I just unpacked everything and I was so humbled. And I'd kept 2 journals while I was in Bali. I had one with me, and on Saturday afternoon, I took it into the park and I was just reading through what I'd written of my experiences with Bapa Manku and everything I'd had in Bali. And there was just immense appreciation, immense gratitude. Of course, if I hadn't have written it down in the journal, then I wouldn't, you know, I'd have lost those memories, because obviously when you take photographs, there can be a lot of photograph. You remember what your emotions were when you took it. You remember maybe who was with you, because I have met many friends on this journey. But it was very, very, very humbling to just go through these clothes. Obviously, some of them fit me, some of them didn't. Some of them I liked more than others. But the fact that someone had taken the trouble to put a bag of goodies together for me, you know. There was a beautiful card in there to say, I'm missing you, I'm thinking about you. There was a beautiful necklace in there. There was a beautiful picture that I've put up in the apartment. And the thoughtfulness and the appreciation, and the fact that obviously Peter's wife had gone out of her way to come to the other end of town to meet up with me. And again, I had a lovely conversation. I may not have had a hug, but I had a lovely conversation with her. And then you start thinking about all the things you've shared with your friends. The time that I shared with Peter, with his wife, with their little girls when I first came back to Geneva. The smile and the huge hug I got from Pete when we met at the airport. The hug and the smile when we arrived back from the airport and I was settled into my room. The appreciation that they had for me, because, you know, I'd gone from 36 degrees usually in the day in Bali and to about 4 degrees. You know, the patience they had with me and you know, finding me a sweatshirt, finding me some trousers, finding me a coat, finding me a pair of trainers, because I had only a pair of very light shoes and flip-flops, because Numpty Bumpkins thought I was going back to New Zealand and I'd left my coat, my jacket and my boots and various other things, warm clothing, all in New Zealand. So it's the power of friendship. And Friday just really set something off in me. I can't begin to explain it, sometimes the English language is quite limiting. But it was like a spark to a flame of appreciation and genuine, I don't know, trust. Because I've had to trust a lot of strangers on this journey. And I know I spoke about trust the other day. But something in me just deepened. We have appreciation on so many different levels. And, you know, the igloos have about 70 or 100 different words for ice. And it could mean life or death to them because the ice has to be of a certain thickness before they can walk on it. But the English language is rubbish, you know. We don't have different words for love. The French, as far as I understand it, have a lot more different words for love and to describe love. And we talked on Friday about different love, different aspects of love, how we can love our parents and they love us unconditionally, and how we can behave with our parents and how we can behave differently with friends who really, really do love us unconditionally. And how we can be silly, how we can, you know, just relate to people in a different way. It doesn't mean we love them any less. You know, I have 4 children. I relate to all of them in a different way because all of them have 4 different personalities. And it's in relating really to ourselves. How many times do we try and play the rescuer or the martyr with someone? How well do we really, really know ourselves? And I think when we can have more appreciation for things, to me, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, we generally perhaps find that we appreciate ourselves more. Feel free to disagree with me, you know, because I learn, of course I learn when people disagree with me. And Saturday was a beautiful day because I gone out in the park, it was lovely and sunny, and of course I had my summer dresses again. So my favourite summer dress, which I bought in Bali, I put it on and I met many people, but I had conversations with 7 people, which is amazing because, you know, I just feel so lucky if someone says bonjour to me at the moment. But 7 different conversations. And they were all genuine and it was just profound. And I'd done some healing with the trees and I really felt the presence of the trees. And I was watching people have picnics in the park and playing with a frisbee, playing with a badminton. There were some women doing Keep Fit. And the joy of these people, that simple act of sharing the joy, of sharing the genuinity. And walking back was very humbling. The guys have got used to me now when I go and get a hot chocolate and we were chatting away. And just the smile and the genuine feeling. And they say, you know, what's happening with lockdown in England? And I said, well, I don't really know because, you know, many of the people are still just being kind, being sensible. Obviously, people can't travel long distance. But the only way I can describe it was a deep sense of peace. Peace beyond words. Again, you know, maybe it's the kind of lack of language or descriptive words enough in the English language. But a deep sense of peace, a deep sense of connection, a deep sense of grace, and a deep sense of so much more within myself, really. It just changed many things. And I was just more grateful for absolutely everything that I have, for all the experiences I've had while I've been travelling, for great friendships. Of course, my friend Tracy was the first one, you know, that's how I came here to be in Switzerland. I met her through a reading and a healing, and we've been friends for nearly 8 years. But how blessed was I to meet her? Was it meant to be? Absolutely. So, and I'm just grateful for all the friends I have here, to Alice and Constance and Samuel and George, and many, many, many more than that, And those of you who are friends here and across the world, just that depth of appreciation. You know who you are. I don't need to name you. I can do, but I don't need to. And then this morning I put my phone on, and I was doing meditation and a mantra. And one of the girls I met when I was in Bali, and I hadn't been in touch with her for such a long time. And people come in your life and go out of your life when you're travelling. It's the way it is. And I genuinely never thought that I would hear from her again. And she got in touch and she sent me a long message. She sent me some beautiful photographs. And I was so humbled by that as well. So whatever makes you humble today, whatever you can appreciate, just feel it. And on yesterday, I could have gone out for a walk. Peter invited me to do a meditation with him and things. But I just wanted to be in that space of just feeling just the appreciation for friends, the appreciation for being here, the appreciation for the bird song, the appreciation for the fact that I'm physically well and able to go out for a walk. I have known people who have the virus. A few of my friends are not well at the moment. Some of my family members are not well, but the appreciation for that. So that's kind of the thought for the day, is just genuine appreciation. I know I've chatted to a few of you on the phone already this morning, which has been lovely. And there's nothing like a phone call. A text has its place, but a phone call goes so much more. And obviously with video phone, it's quite incredible. So that's my thought for the day. I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you for being in my life in some way, shape or form. Even if you just don't know me and you're just watching this, that's okay. But I hope these mornings have inspired you. Many of you know that in the morning usually I do a meditation and a chant, and then I write at least 10 things I can be grateful for. And this morning the pen was just completely flowing, and I was like, wow, I'm grateful for that, I'm more grateful for that, I'm more grateful for that. Just incredible. So, we'll see what today brings. Many of you know that, I've written 5 books. I'm writing the 6th at the moment. And time-wise, I need to get this done. So I may well change the time that I do these FaceTime lives. I'm going to discuss a couple of ideas with a couple of friends later. I'm not sure if any of you have a preference for time, because I know when they're up there, obviously, you can look at them again anyway, and I know many of you are all over the world anyway. But I don't know what's best for you, whether it's better to do them in the morning or late afternoon, or maybe in the evening. But if you let me know if you have any preference. If you do absolutely want me to keep to this time, I will do. It's just, for me, I'm a morning person. I get up, I can get tons done. And when I'm doing the FaceTime, I need to have the inspiration and, all the rest of it. Because I just can't write in the evening, I'm not fresh enough. I can do work with clients or speak on the phone. There are other things I can do. But I'm not, when you're writing, you've got to be 200% concentrating. And the mornings are the better time for me. And I can usually spend a good hour and a half, if not longer, really cracking on with this book. So I don't know how you'd feel if I did something, like I say, late afternoon or in the evening. Obviously, this coronavirus is coming to an end now. I think, we'll be out of it in the next few weeks. And I just hope that we take the learnings and the appreciation and can embody the changes that it's brought to all of us. I know so many of you have said you're missing your friends and family and, not being able to travel and